Hey there, welcome back to my channel. If you're here for the first time, I'm Ms. Devi Sundar, founder and director of Teletherapies and Breathe Thrive. By professional trade, I'm a specialist in respiratory practice and psychotherapist. Today, I'm eager to delve into the topic that's not only concerning, but also incredibly important: addiction. Whether we view it as a category of mental disorder, or a set of neuropsychological symptoms, or simply a maladaptive and harmful habits and lifestyle, addiction demands our attention. Addiction disorders are two categories: substance use addiction and behavioral addiction. Substance use, as the name specifies, it can be to drug, alcohol, or tobacco use, and behavioral examples are food, sex, gambling, work, etc. I'm going to cover this week substance use addiction. I've divided this video into two parts. In the part one, in this video, I'll be shedding light on the addiction itself, exploring how it manifests and impacts the brain. And I also share some strategies to regain control over the addiction and tips to reverse the grips on our lives. Ever wondered about the ultimate trio of health hazards? In the next video, I'll be unraveling the interconnectedness of the risk posed by the smoking, alcohol, and drug use. Before I could jump into the big details in this video, if you have not already done, please do hit that subscribe button and the notification bar so you get notified on my weekly content. Without any further ado, let's jump into the video. The DSM-5, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder 5, actually categorizes substance use as a mental disorder. And how to diagnose it is based on the criteria like impact control over the substance use, such as unsuccessful attempts to cut down or control the use, despite your loved one says that it is harmful, or your healthcare provider says it's harmful for you, but you have this obsession over the use of those substances, either the drug, alcohol, or smoke, the tobacco. And social impairment or problems caused by the substances, such as relationship issues or failure to fulfill major obligation. Risky use of substances, such as using in this hazardous situation, or despite known physical or psychological problems. Tolerance, your tolerance for withdrawal, which is the need for increased amount of substance to achieve the desired effect or diminish effects with the continued use of the same amount. And withdrawal symptoms, again, focus on when the substance use is reduced, you undergo some symptoms and cravings for those substances. Continued use of the substance despite awareness of persistent or recurrent physical or psychological problems caused or exacerbated by use of those substances. The DSM-5 recognizes that addiction is a complex disorder with a biological, psychological, and social components. It includes specific criteria for various substances such as alcohol, cannabis, stimulants, opioids, and others to provide a comprehensive framework for diagnosing the substance use disorder. Also, DSM-5 acknowledges that addiction can occur with other mental health disorders such as depression, anxiety, and personal disorders. So it is very important to recognize the importance of the comprehensive assessment and also the treatment approaches to address the underlying factors that contribute to the addiction. Did you know that around 8.5 million people die each year globally due to either use of a drug, alcohol, or tobacco? It's a massive public health issue, and it's not just about the personal struggles. Addiction affects entire societies. In the UK alone, addiction costs the government about £15 billion annually, with a significant portion of the NHS budget, around £4 billion, dedicated to tackling alcohol and drug misuse. But why it's still persisting is a big question. And even more concerning is the vicious cycle of addiction. Even with treatment, the relapse rates are highly alarming. Research shows that over 20% of the individuals relapse within a month and 40% within 6 months. It's an uphill battle for those trying to break free, and it takes at least 5 years, 5 long years for absenteeism before recovery is solid. The prevalence of addiction varies significantly among different ethnicity, as highlighted by the data both from England and the United States. In England, the rates of illicit drug use shows disparities with high percentage among the Black adults, 11.7%, compared to other ethnicities like white British with 8.9% and Asian is 3.4%. Meanwhile, in United States, American Indians or Alaska Natives account for 36.1% of illicit drug use amongst other ethnicity, putting it as the highest consumer of that, and followed by multiracial individuals, the Asian groups, 11.1%, the Blacks or the African American, 24.3%, and the whites, 22.5%. The substance use rates in the US further emphasizes the differences with the disparities observed across the various ethnic groups. While the Asian population generally exhibit a lower rates of substance abuse and addiction compared to other groups, it's evident that the addiction affects individuals from diverse backgrounds. Understanding these variations is very crucial for developing targeted intervention and support system to address the unique needs of each community affected by the addiction. Now, let's talk about the science behind the addiction. There are several theories out there, but one that's particularly intriguing is the idea of reward circuitry getting hijacked by drugs. Our brains are wired to seek out rewards, but drugs can totally mess it up. There is an incentive salience theory which suggests that the drugs makes our brain prioritize seeking them out over anything else. Then there is a reward deficiency syndrome, which proposes that addiction arises from a lack of satisfaction from regular activities. Let's not forget about how our brain's inhibitory control gets messed up, leading to impulsivity and making it harder to quit. The Coop's model, mapping out how different brain regions are involved in addiction cycle, is really insightful. Now let's zoom into the fascinating part of our brain, the amygdala, an almond-sized structure, a superhero for emotional world, responsible for pleasure, reward, and sensing danger. But it doesn't work alone. It's connected to various regions and orchestrates all our responses to craving and triggers. Amygdala is also linked to the motivation and memories. It's often referred to as a brain's fear center because of involvement in the body's response of fear and danger. The amygdala receives input from various sensory systems, including our sight, a sound, and smell, and integrates this information to evaluate and respond to potential threats in the environment. When the amygdala perceives a threat, it can trigger a physiological response, including the release of stress hormones, the cortisol, formerly known, and that impacts the increased heart rate and heightened vigilance at preparing your body to respond to the perceived danger. The stress and trauma can be significant factors that contribute to substance abuse and addiction. People may turn to substance as a way to cope with or numb the emotional pain associated with a stress or trauma experience. In addition to the role of stress response and fear processing, amygdala also is involved in learning and memory, particularly in forming and storing emotional memories. It can influence the decision-making, social behavior, and other cognitive functions through its connection with other brain regions. So how do we reverse the addiction behavior? Is that the question, right? It's a complex journey, but it can be doable if you have identified the purpose, the why component to overcome your addiction. But here's some key tips I can provide you in this video. The number one is seeking support. Reach out for professional help and support from your loved ones for release of that oxytocin, an hormone and a neurotransmitter to regulate your physiological and social functions in the body, often referred to as a love hormone or a bonding hormone. Secondly, understanding your triggers. Identifying your trigger and underlying issue is the key to tailor intervention. Number three is developing a coping mechanism, learning healthy lifestyles to address your stress and emotion. You can visit my 1st of May live workshop on empowering your mental health, and it's in the same YouTube channel, so you can go and watch where I discuss 4 quick tips to empower your mental health, activate that vagus nerve, the calming system in your body to empower your stress and emotions. And fourth is creating a supportive environment. Surround yourself with the positive people and positive influences. If you are actually seeking out a new friendship, identify the friendship is helping you to grow rather than destroy your energy. Fifth is building a healthy lifestyle, adapt habits that promote your well-being. And sixth is seek medication support when necessary. And seventh is staying committed. Recovery is a lifelong process and it's a journey, not a destination, in gaining success in this journey of recovering from addiction. And eighth is celebrating your milestones, acknowledge your progress and stay motivated. Each day without your addictive substance, either your alcohol or a cigarette or a drug, to be celebrated. Even a small celebration will help you to keep up that motivation. And the ninth is continued support. Stay connected with peers and professionals for your ongoing support. Remember, recovery is possible, but it takes time and patience. The key is consistency here. If you or someone is struggling with addiction, there is a upcoming live workshop on overcoming addictions, the drug use, smoking, or alcohol. And it's a free live workshop hosted by Teletherapies Limited. And you can also get some strategies and tips to empower your emotions while you're going through a journey of recovery from addiction. Identify a purpose to overcome addiction. And so the joining link is in the description box below. Do actually subscribe if you are the person who are going through addiction with substance abuse, or if you know anyone, your loved ones or your friends going through, please do pass on that joining link for that free 60 minutes live workshop where you can empower people's and make a difference in other people's life and also empower your life with some strategies and tips. So there you have it, folks, all about addiction, substance use addiction. I'll see you in the next video discussing about the trio health hazards from the drugs, smoking, and alcohol. As usual, stay healthy, stay curious. Signing off, Devi Sundar.